Hello. Welcome to the Minnesota Podcast.
Why do you think that sounds so different?
Because well, first of all, I can't even hear myself, and that sounds super scratchy.
Oh, hey guys, have you ever listened to this podcast? Can you imagine Molly complaining about her headphones?
You know
Another shock.
Molly, that
Another
wasn't
shock.
the song I
Let me see
requested.
which one.
No, trust me, dude.
Loud.
We have an hour.
Can we
Oh
start?
yeah,
to
we might
play your
sneak.
fucking
We might
song
sneak your
in.
guys' song in there too. Don't worry.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. But yeah, your headphones are really low. Does that help? You better there?
You know what? I can hear now.
All right. How's
Oh,
that?
interesting. I can.
All right.
This is the Minnesota Pubcast.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Or
I don't think people are used to this many voices being
or the
around
most
either.
awkward hour of your life. So
It's
get
about to be,
ready.
yeah.
We have 5 people in the room today, which is how many times more is that than we're used to?
Well, we've been doing it with 3 lately, and that's the most we ever do it with. So
2.5 times more people than what we're used
something
to.
like that. I don't know if that's actually the math. That's some pretty bad math, but
He's already laughing.
something like that.
But it's a very special edition because I have some of my favorite men in the room with me, not including Jason. Sam,
I don't know how to take that.
That's what I said, not including Jason. It means I have other favorite men, not including you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like
all
you're
right.
one of my
That's
favorite
what
men,
meant.
and I
Okay.
have more favorite men.
I get it. I get it now.
God. When I say your name, just say I, or just say whatever you want to say. Sam Gondek is here.
Ooh.
Adam J. Marks.
Here.
And
Wow. Taking roll call.
I can't introduce you seriously because I fucked up last time.
A Griffin roar.
Griffin Rower.
Also here.
We have 3 people in that are not only my friends, but they are the creators, the inventors, and the hosts of the 2015 Nurse Fest, happening this Saturday. And by this Saturday, I mean August 1st. So I really hope that you're listening to this podcast prior to this so that you can get your ass to
We'll
the
have to
event.
push it tomorrow on social media.
Yeah, we'll definitely be pushing it tomorrow on social media, like once. Maybe.
We will help
I might
you
put out
push
a
it
tweet.
tomorrow.
I might put out a tweet. No.
Maybe
Tweet.
A couple tweets. So I just want to start highlighting this event, first of all, because this has been how long in the making?
Oh, this is our 3rd year, so you
Well,
could say
That's a really tough question because honestly,
I'm
it could be
26,
it could
so-
be before even we were here.
Oh, whoa.
What does that mean? Before you were born? What do you mean?
Yes.
This goes back into the ether, into the universe? Is that what you're trying
Sam,
to say?
I'm gonna pass this one over to you.
Oh, boy.
I think what he's trying to get to is that Nurse Fest, although only 3 years old, has been a feeling and an idea that has been percolating in the minds of young, enthusiastic, entrepreneurial
How many
music
percolators?
lovers. At least a triple perk.
Nice.
A triple perk of enthusiasm has been percolating within the members of the musical community since the dawn of music.
but like operationally, like 8 months.
yeah.
Such a much more legitimate answer. Thanks for answering the fucking question.
This isn't a novel.
Oh, Jesus.
No, this is a good balance. That's a good balance. Okay, but the event itself, Nurse Fest, is named after who?
Bill Nershi.
Okay.
He is the flat picking guitarist from String Cheese Incident, and he does a lot of solo touring as well.
Does he know that this is happening?
We were up in so it all kind of the moment of conception for this idea,
Inspiration.
was the Sweetwater Shakedown up in Lutz, a bluegrass festival that takes place at Papa Charlie's up on the mountain, and
Best fucking northern bar there is, really.
yeah,
Really
hands
more of
down.
a hill than a mountain, but yeah.
Yeah,
we'll call it.
and
Minnesota's
Bill Nershi
mountain.
was the headliner for 2 years, and we peppered him with posters and other swag on. It didn't take place this past year, but the year before. So he was at one point aware. I don't know if he's currently aware. He is not playing, but that is the dream. So
Dude, what if he just fucking knew about this the whole time and shows up on Saturday?
I had a dream actually that happened.
That's
I've been dreaming Nurse Fest for like months, and some have been nightmares. But Most
Dude.
have been pretty positive.
That happens, right? It's like when you're preparing for an event that you are like so excited for, but also that you're kind of running. I always have the weirdest dreams about it, like the weirdest shit that goes on. You know what I mean? Like you're like in Paris the morning of, and you're like, oh god, I gotta get my flight back. You know, that's just an example.
All those times we've been in Paris.
Very apropos. Very apropos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for relating to the comment.
You're welcome. No, I don't know. I'm just trying. You know.
All right, I feel like we're maybe assuming the listener knows a little more than they might. Where
Wait,
the hell is this?
This is
Are you
a
building?
Store, this
Are
is,
you building
this
to
is
that?
building. So
Okay.
it's about Bill Nurshi. And then a couple years ago, you guys had an idea, and it started in the backyard of where?
Our backyard. Our house's backyard.
Yeah. So essentially, what it was the last 2 years, it was a music festival themed house party that we threw at our house in South Minneapolis. And what we would do is we would, I shouldn't say we would. These two would great branding, great original marketing, great original, I guess, designs for posters as well as wristbands. And we would invite our friends over, and we would throw a music festival themed house party. Now, what we kind of mean by that is what we would do is we would select over 12 hours. We would select 24 bands and give them each a half-hour time slot of music. So, to give you an instance, even this year, right? Florence and the Machine might go on at 6 p.m., and then following right after that, Beastie Boys might come on at 6:30, right? So
Yeah.
we play a complete 30 minutes of a certain artist. It doesn't mean that they're going to play a live set necessarily, but at least hey, well, I'm coming at 6 p.m., I'm going to get 30 minutes of Florence and the Machine. That's awesome.
Exactly. And the idea was to kind of recreate the festival atmosphere because obviously we didn't have the capital to throw a music festival, but we just had friends. So let's invite them over and turn on some good tunes, and nobody can turn them off because it's a festival format.
Don't fucking
And,
touch the speaker, essentially.
exactly.
Was that the...
And then the idea
rule.
evolved and gained steam. And then we had far too many people in our backyard last year, and it was probably at the point of being a liability. So we approached.
We were afraid of lawsuits, so we're moving on.
Well, and the
Reasonably
police
so.
did show up. They
Yeah,
were
they
very,
did.
very cool about it, and just were like, "Hey, shut it down by like midnight." And we're like, "Cool," and it was going to end by then anyway, officially. And then, so yeah, this past year we were like, okay, we need a different venue, and so we love going to Harriet. They're cool people that run that place. They're really low key. They listen to awesome music and brew great beers. So it was actually far easier than we thought it would be. We just talked to them.
Couple emails,
Yeah.
people say yes. Next thing you know, you got a music festival.
That's
And so
fucking awesome.
this year's format actually has live music in addition to that tradition of streaming artists.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about like not only the streaming artists that you chose this year. I'm assuming there's like you want a variety, but you want some like things that maybe you guys have liked within the last year, and then tell us about the live artists as well.
The streaming artists lineup is always interesting to kind of curate because it's a combination of genres, so it's not just what we like or even what's being played on the radio or even what's the top selling album. It's a combination of good music, historic music, classic rock, and then, in addition to, modern, more indie rock and hip hop, and we try to, kind of get everything involved. Mm-hmm. So it's a crowd pleaser, really. And I think a good way to think about it is if you go to a really, really good show at First Avenue and the show ends at 12 midnight, and after the show they usually turn the lights on and music starts playing. And your body is so used to dancing for the past 2 hours and listening to awesome music, and now this streaming music's playing, and you don't want to go home. You want the party to continue. So that's the same sort of effect we're trying to do, sandwiching live artists in between streaming artists.
That's fucking cool. I love that because I hate that at the end of a music festival, the end of the night, like the last thing you want to do is go home, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you just keep on fucking rocking, and that's why there's all those after parties too. Where's the after party, you guys? Where is
It's
it?
there, actually. It's a Stop Making Sense after party at Harriet. So at 10 p.m., the live act will end. Hobo Nephew's Uncle Frank is our final band, and they kick ass. But right after they end, we'll set up a projector and just do a live showing of Stop Making Sense, which, if any listeners that aren't familiar with that, it's a Talking Heads documentary from the 1980s that is awesome. Widely regarded as one of the greatest rock documentaries of all time. And it's super bitchin'. If you've never seen it before, even for the even if you've never heard of Talking Heads, even if you've never been familiar with their music, it's so cool.
It's a concert
fancy.
DVD.
Exactly.
It's a filming of multiple live shows.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's gonna make people move their bodies.
Yep.
Yeah.
concert-
The idea is to
concert
keep people
DVD.
dancing from 10 to midnight.
Yep.
Bring your Fitbit.
Wow, that's how you get them out.
That's how you
Because
get
Bring your Fitbit. Now they're all coming.
You'll
Bring
get
your
lots of steps.
You'll
Lots of steps.
You'll get your steps, guys.
I actually do know a few that probably would show up now, just that you said that. Okay, so I'm looking at the lineup, and it looks like it's live music from 2 to 10, or is it mixed in?
No, so we mix the live acts with the streaming acts. So the schedule is the event starts at noon and officially ends at 10, and that's when the after party begins. So that ends at
How late are
midnight.
they open, by the way?
They'll be open till 1.
Okay.
So,
We're making them.
oh,
How
it'll-
late do you want them to be?
Yeah, I don't think there's any.
So the first live band goes on at 2 p.m., and our bands each play for an hour. The next one goes on at 4. The next one goes on at 6, and then 7:30 and 9.
Okay, I
So-
see. Yeah, so you're mixing in that
Yep.
half hour or that hour in between.
Exactly. You'll
Okay.
be hearing the streaming tunes.
And they're all Minnesota artists, it looks like, right?
Yep.
Can we name them off? Is this a surprise?
Yep. General-
No,
No,
It's on the
it's
website. I'm looking at the
right?
website. I hope this isn't a surprise. You guys really fucked up if this is a surprise.
Yeah, and we can kind of
I
because
don't want to give it all, like a little excitement, but it's fine. It's fine.
so
Go
General
for
Be in the Wiz is the first band
it. And
up.
they're fucking awesome.
And they're amazing.
Yeah.
And you might I don't know, maybe think that like, okay, it's a music festival, can I miss the first couple bands
You
or
can't.
whatever.
Be there.
No.
General B and the Wiz is gonna kick you in the face.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're
awesome.
awesome.
Literally.
Yep. But yeah, they might because the stage is tiny. So, but no, they're really, really good. They're like indie rock sound, they
Jack White.
Modest Mouse
Okay.
kind of
yeah.
deal. And then Lowland Lakers will be the band at 4. And they're like a folk trio. There's 3 of them showing up.
Fun little tidbit about the Lowland Lakers. One of the members is in 4 on the floor.
Okay. Yep.
Oh.
And so there's
write
these
that
awesome
down.
Minnesota connections between them too.
Yep.
Sleep Study is the band.
Study.
Yep. And they're like a pop band, and they've had some radio success.
And their music is not sleepy music, guys.
No.
No.
It's like synth pop.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
It'll be
What were they? City Pages like next big band on,
Yep.
on a list at one point.
Yep.
So.
Don't ask us to produce that list, but City Pages.
I
gives us
swear it's
the
true.
co-brand.
Type that into keyword and you'll find it.
and then Gin Strings Bluegrass Band follows them. They played the Blue Ox Bluegrass Festival in Eau Claire. And they have a main room show at First Ave 1 or 2
Saturday
weekends after.
Oh,
So
sweet.
Headline.
they're definitely growing in popularity. And then following them, kind of our headlining act is Hobo Nephews of Uncle Frank, an Americana duo. They just opened for Trampled
Nice.
in Duluth.
Oh, cool, dude.
And
That's
so
perfect.
I don't know. All these bands are awesome, and I feel like they are. Each one of them is just on the cusp of kind of just breaking out, which is perfect for us because
Yep.
we can afford them, and, they're
this is-
awesome, and they're really, really good. So
This is their
awesome.
big break. too.
yeah,
Well, and did they kind of take what you would call in sports the hometown discount? I mean, did they kind of say this is really
No,
cool, or did they
because
say
we're
we want
so
$2,000,
not-
give it to us now?
we're so naive about like what a band pulls. Like we're not in this day in and day out.
Sure.
So we're. And the bands know this. We're overpaying each and every one, which
Oh,
is
wow.
fine
Yeah.
because the charity involved in this whole thing is the Minnesota Music Coalition. They support the development of independent musicians in this state, and so it's just a good tie-in. Like, we're overpaying the bands, and then like proceeds from the event are benefiting this organization that also benefits bands. So we're fine with it.
That's
Yeah.
fucking cool.
They're getting money though.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's good.
And
Okay,
the nice
we-
thing too is
oh,
that
I'm
they're
sorry.
buying into
Go
the
ahead.
concept. I mean, right? I mean, we're kind of unproven. I mean, really, when people dig,
Well, you guys
what
filled
was-
your backyard. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you
yeah,
mean?
what was what did you guys do last year? Well, we bought a couple kegs. And created a house party that was really successful. We want to replicate it at a brewery, right? So they're kind of going on a limb with us too. But I feel like every single person we've talked to has bought into it so much. Like, I don't know.
A lot of yeses.
A lot of yeses.
Maybe one no.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who it was.
Yeah.
They don't matter.
They don't matter. They ain't playing Nurse Fest.
There's really not a whole lot wrong with the concept. So
No,
it's
there's
really
not.
just going to be if people know about it and they show up. I mean, that seems to me the biggest obstacle, and that is for almost anything.
Right, exactly. Well, even for Hobo Nephews, right? Who's opening for them? They got Gin Streams opening, and then a half hour of Stevie Wonder. Like, I can't imagine.
People are going to be bumping.
Anyone in that crowd is going to be, not dancing, one, or two, that they're going to be, flabbergasted by having Stevie Wonder in
Yeah,
idea.
I don't think I hear a lot of that.
Exactly, right.
Perfect. That's fucking awesome. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm like, I can't even talk about it. I'm like trying to interview you, and I'm just fucking pumped. But let's say I'm a weirdo.
Well, we could say that.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm a
It's okay.
weirdo.
You're a weirdo.
Let's go on a planet.
Let's say let's say all right, let's say I'm a different weirdo, and I fucking hate music for whatever reason. What stuff before, after, during the event am I going to be drawn in by? Besides the music.
So the day starts with a 5K. So if you're the active type, you can run 3 miles, and you're going to get some cool items out of that, as well as a free beer.
Swag.
So good way to just kind of tie in some like healthiness to the day, because there's not a whole lot of that after. There's
Healthy conversation.
healthy conversation. Yes. We're gonna have food trucks at the event, as well as some cool vendors. So Electric Fetus is gonna be there. We've got the Blue Goose photo booth, which is a VW bus that has some cool items and fun photo opportunities.
Yeah, dude.
A boutique on wheels.
That's awesome.
Bring your pocket clutches.
Exactly. Hammerschlagen tables.
Yeah.
I don't. There's plenty to do, I guess, if you are not into music, but there's gonna be a lot of music blaring everywhere.
Kind of music centric, right?
You know,
I mean,
yeah.
if
It
you
is
don't like
music-centric.
music, you might want to find
Exactly.
something else to do.
And
It is music centric. You're right. But at least there's something for everyone. Someone doesn't even know what's going on. If they don't know who Beck is, if they don't.
If you don't know who
There-
Beck is,
Get
don't
out.
go.
Jason.
One more time.
Get
One more
out.
person has to go. Yeah, don't go,
Guys,
please.
this is supposed to be a welcoming
There's
environment.
a one.
I
There's a one question
Is that
poll
really
at the
supposed to be
door,
that?
and it's like, do you know who Beck is?
Check yes or
If
you can't come
you're
in.
not that.
And maybe still get you out too. That you're out.
I would say the main thing, though, that has gotten us into it with everyone, it's free. It's a free event. It's benefiting a nonprofit. We're going to have 5 live bands with a bunch of awesome streaming artists that you guys already know. Why not come on down?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, exactly.
What do you have to lose?
And we haven't even talked about the beer too. I mean, Harriet, they brew
good.
German style, like
Belgium.
Belgian, German,
It's really close borders.
really close.
Super close.
Really close.
Yeah, Belgian inspired beer. So
Do you know what they have going? Anything new, like seasonal wise or
they
anything?
have
you
the
been in there in a
Dark
while?
Abbey, which
Okay.
is relatively new.
Good.
What is it? Do you know? What
It's a,
type?
it's a dark.
Abbey?
Abbey.
Is it a dark Abbey?
It's a dark abbey.
It's what we had 3 of
Self-explanatory,
last
my bad.
night. Or
It's a light blonde.
It's got hops.
No, I imagine their
It
west
has
their
hops.
West Side IPA
It has
is pretty
malt.
popular.
It had to be fermented. in order to drink it.
Don't give away the secret recipe.
yeah.
My bad. My bad.
Harriet's going to ditch this thing if you keep that up. So I think it's been mentioned a little bit in passing, but when is this thing?
Saturday. August 1st.
You want to keep going?
What, you want more?
Are you just adding the list? Or
You're wondering why I chose that song. I think we
Saturday.
Does he automatically do that whenever that plays?
yeah.
Just
No,
come-
it doesn't. even
Wherever
have to
you are in
play.
the world, it doesn't matter.
I don't know why I do it. It just comes out.
Well, that was worth it then.
Yep.
Let us
All right.
know.
Holy shit.
What are we forgetting? What aren't we telling the people?
I think
Nursefest.com. I know that's where you can get the info.
Nursefest.com is where you get the info.
Twitter, that kind of stuff. You guys are on Twitter.
All over
Do you have a
social
Facebook
media.
page?
Twitter,
We do.
We got
Alright.
a Facebook event page.
RSVP on the Facebook event if you want to, because then we know we're coming. You're coming.
We've got, we're all wearing, you can't see, but we all are wearing the same T-shirt.
Yeah, we got T-shirts for sale there. We got wristbands. as
$10
well as
for a
headbands.
T-shirt.
And I will note, if you guys, if our listeners love our Minnesota Pubcast logo, because it's really fucking cool. Actually, I think we have the best. I'm going to put this out there. We have the best logo on
No.
Alive and Social Network. We do.
No.
Stop it.
I think that's
We
pretty
do.
much a certainty.
We,
Yeah,
we
it
have a
is.
certainty that it's the best logo, and our logo was designed by a person named Adam J. Marks, and he's sitting right across from me, and he did all of the graphic design for Nurse which means it looks really fucking cool. So even if you, I don't know, even if it's your first time to Nurse Fest and you're like not really sure what the event is about,
It's
you
probably
still
your
get.
first time to Nursefest.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you never know.
Another thing for people that aren't into music, they can see all the internet drawings that Adam does.
Oh, shucks.
Internet drawings and cool, like you get a cool
Professional
fucking
drawer.
T-shirt.
Those T-shirts are cool too.
Your
yeah.
T-shirt is fucking awesome.
We'll get a picture and we'll put that up
It's
on
a
the
cool
website,
graphic
too.
tee, and people are gonna be like, "Where'd you get that T-shirt?" And I'm like, "You should have gone to Nurse Fest."
Support
And they're only
local
$10,
design.
so we're not making them cost prohibitive. I mean, usually you go to these things, merch table, like, oh, $45
$45.
T-shirts,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
$80 hoodies, like $10. It's what we paid
Reasonable.
for them. You
Reasonable.
know,
Yeah, I went to
Buy
the Rolling Stones concert a few weeks ago at TCS Stadium. It was really fun. But I was like, I have to get a Rolling Stone shirt, right? Buy it, and it has like all the tongues on it with the different. The tongues have the pattern of the different stadiums that they're in. So like the U of M had like the Gopher stripes, and Ohio had the whatever the Buckeye stripes. Fucking washed it once in cold water. Fucking shrunk, and it's see through. These will not shrink, and they're not see through.
Durable.
Durable.
Super durable.
durable.
Durstable.
Support local
Super
design.
attractive.
Super's durstable.
Saturday.
This Saturday, Nurse Fest, Saturday. Enough of that.
All right, yeah. All right. Well, all right. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We're going to talk Cecil the Lion, a couple other things, and then anything else you guys just want to talk about right here on the Minnesota Pubcast. Be right back.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back online, along comes this hit show.
Do you want to do this? I will do this.
Gaby, let's not battle our guests.
Good. You're being nice.
In a world full of hit shows, this one's the real deal.
I'm refusing to
hear
engage
you.
in an argument that doesn't exist.
I'm not arguing.
Twin Cities Hit Show.
Oh my god!
Oh, my God. Hey,
See, this is how fights start on pedal pubs. This is exactly. He's just all that redheaded anger just came up. It's all in his chest right now.
The Twin Cities Hit Show airs live daily, 9:30 to 10:30 on the Alive and Social Network.
Oh, Shannon, welcome to my world.
It's been a Twin Cities food legend for almost 30 years. It's been the anchor for the Minneapolis Warehouse District since it opened. And you may not know that the Loon Cafe can provide their outstanding creations and much, much more for your gathering, whether it's a private party or corporate event. For custom catering beyond the menu, contact the Loon Cafe. They'll create foods that will amaze your guests. Leave the cooking to someone else. Contact Brian at the Loon Cafe for your catering needs. Call 612-332-8342 or visit looncafe.com.
Oh, looncafe.com. What? Is that new? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fucking topical, all right? Would you just sit there and listen? This is your headliner at Nursefest.
Oh, yeah. Do you hear America? Because I did.
Found her. There she is.
Anyway, welcome back to the Minnesota Pubcast. Nursefest.com. Go find it. Oh, shit. That's why it's not going down. This is it. All right. Anyway, so I like that we have some people in here that I don't know. I mean, I met you, but I don't really know your take on life or politics or any of that kind of shit. So I'm just really curious to hear what you guys think about this whole Cecil the Lion situation. And I don't just mean obviously about him being killed, but just the reaction to it. If anybody has anything to jump in right away, go. What's your initial reaction to this lion being killed?
I just got to say this. Don't we have enough lions? I'm just kidding. Absolutely joking. Absolutely joking. No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's a cat.
But it's an important cat. That means a lot to.
I'm as the only cat person on this side of the table.
Oh, I hate him. But I love Cecil.
Yeah, I hate cats.
R.I.P.
You know, I don't think lions are difficult to kill. I think they're relatively don't give a shit.
They're
about humans.
They're
like
used to
most
humans.
cats. Like they just kind of hang around.
Well, is anything difficult to kill with a gun or a
Good
or
point.
like a, like
what
a
I'm saying,
solid-
certain animals. I
weapon?
think certain animals are probably harder to kill. I'm not a hunter, but I know that like
A rhino.
they just like dragged a piece of meat around and put a spotlight on it.
Yeah,
and
literally put a spotlight on it.
The cat decided to sniff the food, which is normal cat behavior, and then they shot it like right when it. So
you don't see the skill in that. You don't
Yeah,
see the
exactly.
marksmanship and the.
It's just I don't get the draw. I'm not a hunter either. I don't shoot deerts or anything, but I think I don't see the point. I don't see the draw, and it. People say, "Oh, it's an adrenaline rush to kill something." It's like go skateboarding or something. Like do something a normal person would do, like killing a live.
Put yourself in some danger, not another being.
I think there's a couple points, right? One, he left the country after they realized that they killed a tagged animal, right? So if the animal's got a collar on it, you're in Africa, you're by a nature preserve. When you are cleaning an animal, regardless of the act itself, right? They lured it out, they killed it, shoot it with a bow, they tracked it for a couple hours.
40 hours.
40
That thing was
hours.
alive for 40 more
It's
hours.
a long. I mean, that's how you track like an elk. That's how you track a bear too, right?
Yeah.
So you'll shoot a bear with a crossbow, or you shoot a bear with a live bow, right? And you'll track it, and you'll track the blood stains. You get there. You got to think when that guy got there, and they're cleaning a lion, which all they did to it is take the head. Like when you clean, unless you want a full mount of a lion, which I'm not an expert. All I've read is in the last couple of days, right?
Kind of seems like you are.
You either take the full animal, right, and you gut it, and you clean it out, and then you stuff it, so you have a
Taxidermy,
full taxidermed lion, or you just take the head and the mane, right, and you mount that. So these guys cut the head off the lion,
And they
then-
skinned it, too,
And
I
they
thought.
skinned it,
Yeah.
and they realized that the collar was still on it, right? So you got to think at that point, this guy from Minnesota who's a Bloomington dentist who paid $50,000 to go over there and kill this animal would have some gumption to be like,
I fucked up.
own
fucked
up
up.
to it,
Yeah.
right?
No, I think he was smart enough to know, oh, shit, I'm in a lot of trouble.
I gotta get the
yeah,
hell
I'm
outta
in
here,
Africa
right?
right now. I'm getting the fuck out of here and going
Yeah,
home.
that's actually very true, right?
I think that's what happened.
Who wouldn't do that, right?
But yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
well, no, in a perfect world, he would have
Someone-
just owned
yeah.
up to it. But yes,
Then
most
you
people
realize
would
you're going
say,
to be
I don't want to go
jailed
to
in
jail
Africa.
here. Yeah.
I would rather go to federal prison and
That's
white
true
collar
even,
prison
yes.
in America and play tennis for 10 years.
I thought it was pretty admirable. One of the guides who was there hunting with him, as soon as he saw the collar, turned himself in.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
said, "I fucked up."
Yeah.
And that took a lot of gumption right there. you
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
So it's sad that kind of
Gumption. I'm the only one that hasn't said that word yet. So.
gumption.
Well, you now did.
Gumption.
I've never said it.
Okay, so it's okay. So we
It's
all
fun.
know.
It's fun to say.
I think that I was expecting exactly that. I think we all think that's just a disgusting thing and unnecessary. Why the hell would you do that? But I find it a bit almost absurd, the reaction and the level of reaction, considering everything else going on in the world. I mean, how many people know Cecil but don't know who Sandra Bland is?
Right.
That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who Sandra Bland is?
I saw the news. Honestly, I saw the ticker on the Target Field sign.
And to be honest,
And that was
you
it.
guys aren't big.
I'm the least probably.
Tapped
I
in.
can. Yeah, I don't consume pop culture.
Sure.
like,
and,
ever.
and you guys
But you
aren't-
knew about
That's
this, right?
interesting.
The lion?
yeah.
and-
Oh, I knew about the lion. Yeah.
You guys aren't
only because
super
it was local,
big.
probably.
You're
but-
not super big on Facebook. You're not. I mean, like I don't know.
Oh, I'm super big on Facebook.
No, you're not. None of you guys are super big on Facebook. But
No,
that's,
we're
but
pretty
that's
tiny
where,
on Facebook.
Fuck you.
Depends what picture you're looking at.
This is like my personal hell coming on my show with my friends because I can't
you're
say
loving
anything.
Because they just fuck with you the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
That's what my friends would do too, and do. So I don't
Don't invite them.
I don't bring them.
Yeah,
Did you catch that?
Doo-doo.
It's their
Oh.
duty that they do.
What were you saying, Molly?
Did you have something there? Anything
Jason
else?
had a point
I
though
got it.
about,
Yeah,
about,
okay,
like
Jason
what
had a good
matters
point,
or
yeah.
whatever. You
I'll
know,
continue. Okay, I don't blame anybody for being outraged
Yeah.
about this, but I do think that we need to start looking at what's happening to our fellow human beings a little more than a fucking line. I'm sorry, in the big scheme of things, it doesn't matter. And people that get pulled out of their car by cops and end up dying in jail, that kind of thing happens a lot, and we just look the other way. And I get why. This is easy. This is really easy. It's we all five agree pretty easily in this room, and there's no controversy when you talk about the line. There's really no, well, but I have this angle. No, not really. I mean, you might be like a super hunter guy, and you might have an angle. But other than that, there's really no angle on that. But when it comes to cop brutality or any of that kind of stuff, now we're talking as a racism, and we're getting political, and I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
And that scares me, because I think that's the dialogue we should be having, and I don't think we should be talking about Cecil.
So you think that you saw a lot more on your Facebook about the lion?
Social media in general, I mean, and even just news in general, looked like this was the biggest story. It was as if somebody got nuked.
Yeah.
It was that big of a deal. Like, everyone in the world knew about it, but yet violence happens against American citizens on a daily by cops. And yes, that's talked about a lot now, but you don't see the average person that doesn't really talk about much on Facebook go, this person should be just taken and just beaten and killed. Like, you don't hear that, but when the cop does it, you don't hear that. But when a guy does it to a lion, everybody goes apeshit.
Right. And
Pardon
Jimmy
the pun,
Kimmel's
but
not crying on live TV about the Cincinnati cop shooting or Sandra Bland and all that stuff too, right? And I think it goes back. I mean, there was even the Associated Press had an article today about all these people. I think it was it Zimbabwe, Tanzania?
I think it was Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, right? So the lion gets killed in Zimbabwe, and there's this counter article where everyone in Zimbabwe is like, yeah, I mean, prosecute the guy if he did something wrong. I mean, if he knowingly did something wrong, yeah, we should try to extradite him back here. But their lion killing is a pretty big business there.
Right,
you know?
right.
I mean,
They're pretty used to it.
They're in Africa. Yeah. Like, if anything, they're trying, like, the big story that no one pays attention to is all those elephants being killed or rhinos being killed, right, for their ivory. You know what I mean? It's like, this stuff's been happening there for a long time. Now, all of a sudden, one Bloomington dentist kills a lion that supposedly was protected out of a nature preserve. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a horrible thing, but in the scheme of things, they're like, man, you guys have been coming over here and killing animals for hundreds of years. Like, it's always been shitty. You guys suck. Like,
they're just like another day.
In the woods, you know? Like,
and then if you compare it to people over there, I mean, we have the luxury to pick and choose what we get upset about. You know, like,
that's true too.
You know, like, day to day, we're like all pretty like fine. Like, we eat and we like, you know, go to work or whatever, and we get paid.
We have a roof over our heads, and yes, we listen to live music.
So people in these places that maybe we're talking about or in these situations, like, have to deal with that, and they might not get pressed for it or whatever. But us, we're like, we see it come across Facebook, and of the a million things we see, we're like, a cat? Like, are you kidding me? You know, and then we go for that, and we just get to choose which one we go for. Which, you know, is that the worst thing in the world that we're in
it's an easy position to rally behind, which is, I think, what you're getting to, right?
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's
so
super easy. And like
easy
the
to
Kimmel
just be
thing went viral, but it was like,
yeah, I don't want a lion to die. It's like, well, yeah, no one wants a lion to die, but
No,
it's in Africa.
exactly.
Have you ever seen a lion on the outside of a zoo?
And as angry as I could possibly get, there's no way I'm getting choked up over it. There's just no way. And I watched that clip, and I think it was totally genuine. Like, I believe that he totally had those feelings, but it's just like, dude, you never fucking heard of that thing until yesterday.
Yeah.
How are you crying?
It's not like he was campaigning for like lion preservation,
Yes.
you know, week in, week out.
Yeah.
He cried as if it was like his friend's nephew. Like, it was like a person that he had an attachment to, and it's a fucking lion that's 5,000 miles away that he's never heard of. Yeah. That's weird to me. But you brought up that article today, and did you read the whole thing about
the
why
science
we
of why we care?
I think that's very interesting, because we as human beings hate almost all life on Earth, or if nothing else, we're indifferent. Just scientifically, they've kind of proven that, like, when it comes to insects, if maybe a butterfly, maybe a couple others that you might have sympathy or empathy for. Otherwise, kill them all. Wildlife in the sea, forget about it. They're all dead, and we don't give a shit. And half of them are going extinct, and we don't pay attention to it. But if you kill something that has big eyes and it's furry and it's magnificent, now it's bad. Mm-hmm. So we as human beings are just so fucked up, and we're skewed. And I understand where a lot of things like that come from, or it's just nature builds it into you. But why do we have empathy for a lion, but not a fellow human being, or a fish, or whatever else? And I'm not even saying you should. I'm saying maybe have no empathy for anybody, but that would be better almost than this like selective empathy.
This is like the least sourced sentence ever, but I read like an article or something about some guy who's like a scientist, biologist guy.
That was phenomenal. Yeah, that was fucking phenomenal as a way to source an argument.
Yeah, works cited is unbelievable.
He made a comment about the pandas, which he's like, yeah, like, I mean, like, they're not like biologically fit to like make it.
They should go extinct.
And he's like, and everybody's like donates billions of dollars to pandas to keep them alive, and they don't even want to stay alive. Like, they don't want to have sex
because they're cute.
Care. Yeah. Meanwhile, like, there's like serious like bees or whatever you want, that have like an impact on ecosystems in a significant way, and everybody's like, they sting though. Like,
well, have you heard the Jim Jeffries bit on that about the panda? Because he's like, we put two pandas in a room and we put them in a cage and we try to get them to fuck, and we show them panda porn and we do everything we can to try to, and they don't want to fuck. And he's like, you put me in a cage with anything for a week, and I'll fuck it. So that does kind of say, it's like the pandas really just don't want to live. Shit, yeah. But yeah, it's almost like we're forcing them to. They just want to die off, and we're like, no, you're cute. You got to stay here. And again, that's what's so weird about the human psyche is we like you. You're aesthetically pleasing, so therefore we want to keep you. But like bees and the other things that are actually really important to our lives, I don't really give a shit about them.
Yeah,
it's just I don't we have millions of years at least of biological information in us, in our DNA. That's what gets passed down? Yeah. Is empathy for things that don't matter to us? That's weird to me. That's just really odd to me.
For no particular reason, is panda porn just a Google search, or how would someone...
I got it on my favorite bars. I'll send it to you.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I really hoped that was just for the joke, but you're right, it's probably not. Mm-hmm. There probably is actually some panda porn.
Something I learned the other day, totally side related to that. One of Abraham Lincoln's 5 or 6, what is it? It's not an annulment, but it's what did Obama just do, right? He just did 46
when he let people out of jail.
People out of jail. What is it? Annulments for marriages, but you know what I mean.
I know like
pardon. Yeah, pardon. One of his 6 pardons was for someone who was in jail for bestiality, and the reason that he wrote the pardon handwritten in Lincoln's name was because he was intoxicated at the time that he had sex with an animal.
That excuses it, don't you think?
I mean, in 18.
Who hasn't been drunk when they committed bestiality? I'd like to know.
66? Am I totally off? 1860s?
Yeah,
early 1860s,
Civil War is 1860s.
50s.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And what was the animal big and fluffy? Because
they didn't name the animal in the report. What was that from?
You'd like to think the animal was drunk too.
It was in John Oliver's bit.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, yep, I did see that. Yep, so that's where I saw that too. Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, like, why not, right?
Shout
that guy
out John
wasn't
Oliver.
hurting anybody besides I don't know, maybe like the poor dog that he
Molly,
fucked.
are you trying to justify bestiality?
Let's not go there.
Let's hear it.
No, I'm just saying, like, the poor
when
dude
a man
was a non-violent crime.
Feelings are
It
feelings.
might have been violent. I don't know.
Maybe say.
Well, it's rape, so it's violent no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
it's kind of like, how can an animal be consensual? I don't care. Did they sign something?
Well, was the animal drunk too?
That's what I'm saying. That makes it even
Have
worse.
you ever seen them, milk a horse before?
Actually, I've never witnessed that.
Really?
I'm aware that there's much video
Have
of it.
you?
I don't witness that. Or I've never watched
Jackass
that.
really exposed
Okay.
me to that moment.
You can milk anything.
You can milk anything, yeah.
Ugh, that's so fucking gross.
All right. Well, the wheels came off of that one. Sounds like break time. Let's take a break. We'll come back, and honestly, we're going to talk about whatever the fuck comes up.
Hey Hey, this is Terry.
And Tracy.
We are going to be starting a new podcast here in Minneapolis called Eat This, Twin Cities. Why don't you tell everybody what that actually means?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a weekly show on food, drink, music, events, and just other randomness. Anything great that's going on in the Twin Cities.
Plus, we're going to be doing some giveaways as well. That's right, prizes. People love prizes.
It'll be a ton of fun. Join us.
Tell us where they can find the podcast.
All right, it is eatthisTwinCities.com, or you can check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/eatthisTwinCities.
So, until next time, eat this, Twin Cities!
It's been a Twin Cities food legend for almost 30 years. It's been the anchor for the Minneapolis Warehouse District since it opened. And you may not know that the Loon Cafe can provide their outstanding creations and much, much more for your gathering, whether it's a private party or corporate event. For custom catering beyond the menu, contact the Loon Cafe. They'll create foods that will amaze your guests. Leave the cooking to someone else. Contact Brian at the Loon Cafe for your catering needs. Call 612-332-8342 or visit looncafe.com.
I love that Molly keeps giving me looks when she hears the music, but I'm just playing Nurse
Fest music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just trying to keep it topical. Trying to
Beastie
keep a
Boys
theme
will
going
be
here.
there.
God, I've never.
Sorry,
been
when you bring your friends in, they pick on you, and it makes me want to pick on you too. That's just kind of how it works usually.
It's just because I'm the girl in all of this.
Oh, blame it on sexism. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it might not just be that we like making fun of you. That can't just be it.
I'm gonna blame it on sexism, Jason.
Oh man. Oh, you guys football fans? I want to actually.
Sure
I wouldn't mind touching on that.
American football?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's actually the proper way to put it, because football is the most popular sport in the world, and it's not ours. But American football. Just curious if you guys care about the fact that Brady's suspension was upheld, because we talked about it a bunch on this show.
I think the whole thing is so stupid. Talk about having the spotlight on the wrong thing. This is a deflated football.
A fucking deflated
Who the
football.
fuck cares? And
Nobody.
you know, if Tom Brady did it or not, I could care less. I really could. That's my thing. I love how the judge was like, we don't have time for this. This is not coming to Minnesota. You can keep this on the East Coast, and we're not going to have any hand in this. Like, that's a power move. That's awesome.
Did you hear the coach of the Patriots today? He was like, I thought he'd be really fired up, and he was like, I'm just really disappointed, and
You've never listened to Bill Belichick.
That's his demeanor.
well, you get a little fired, and he was like, I just I'm disappointed that Tom Brady it just was upheld, and
They interview him after the Super Bowl, and he's like, "We had a good game.
It was really good, and,
Tom threw the ball well.
They went out there and they did their
defense
thing,
played
and,
defense. It was really good. No, okay. So the reason I'm curious what you guys think is because, to me, of all these suspensions, maybe
thanks, bro.
I'll take one. Thank you.
Did you not?
Yes.
I'm getting fucking shit.
Wait, you want a Coors Light?
I just want something, and I couldn't even.
Wow. That's what. Yeah, I think
You
he
know
was
what?
actually
You
thinking
saw
of
where
you.
I got the captain from.
You wanted me to
Wow. Now she's more mad that you didn't actually go out of your way to make something else that you weren't even going to get. Huh.
You know what?
Wow.
He goes, I thought you couldn't drink beer. Well, I can't, and that's why I had a captain.
Well, you're drinking
But
one
you're
now.
about to drink a beer. There she goes.
Oh,
this
sip.
might be a medical. Has anyone gone into shock on this podcast before?
Not live yet. It could happen, though.
It's going to happen right now.
Because I'm shocked.
And then I'm going to sue the fuck out of Coors. No, I'm not.
No, I don't think you are.
Cars.
Coors.
You missed it because you were grabbing beers for us. Thanks again. But we were just talking about the Tom Brady suspension being upheld, and my initial reaction is just, seriously, you're going to uphold his, but you're going to give Ray Rice 2 games? I mean, are you fucking serious for deflating a football? Is that? And I know I kind of get the angle where it's on the field, it's in the integrity of the game, blah blah blah. But it's already been proven scientifically that it's not an improvement. So why is that even a rule? And of all the rules to maybe be lenient about, I mean, the beating your wife one is the one I don't want to be lenient about. Right. But the football one I can get over.
I would say the one disappointing thing from this, like, Tom Brady's been in the NFL like 15 years. I don't know,
something like that.
He's won like 4 Super Bowls. I don't, like at that point, just be like, I let a little air out because I can hold it better. Who cares?
And your best evidence too is to go. Did you guys watch the second half of the Indy game where I torched them with the balls that they made me use? Like,
because
what difference does it
I can
fucking
squeeze
make?
it better,
just a little bit, and it's literally what, like 0.3 psi. Like I don't even know if you could, if any of us in this room could tell the difference, I'd be shocked.
No, probably not.
And his team's like strategy of just deny is the wrong move. Why would you not just be like? Because again, I wouldn't care if he did it or not, and I feel like most football fans. Reasonable football fans wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any reaction to him destroying the cell phone?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's 2 parts, right? So one is the consistency, right? So now NFL's just dealing out a couple game fine. I feel like they've been, especially since Ray Rice, it's been so inconsistent with the AP stuff and kind of following up. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get. You get the whole season off. You can be on the exempt list. I have listened. I try to stay as tapped in as possible, and I'm so confused. I have no idea. If someone hit their kid or, got a DUI, I have no idea what the precedent is.
What if someone committed bestiality?
I don't know. Well, that's a better question.
Well, was the animal drunk? That's the first.
And was the animal the mascot?
Right.
Was it during,
or was it the rivals mascot? So many angles.
Right.
So that
ESPN just doesn't go here. It's weird.
So that for me is the first part. The second part is that, right? The phone breaking, right? I think for every football, this is so stupid. They won the Super Bowl. He's obviously a very good quarterback. Even if you give him the real balls, he's probably still going to be able to win a game.
That's like saying Lance Armstrong would like win without roids.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. A performance-enhancing drug
it's like
that
saying
helps you get more
I think
oxygen
he would have
in your
won without
bloodstream.
roids.
No. It's like saying he wouldn't have won if he had 0.01 air taken out of his tires.
Exactly.
That's what it would be.
So-
or his cleats would have been
Okay.
different,
Yes.
or something
Yes.
like that.
So what level of cheating do we care about then? Like, do we care more about potential cheating on teams, or do we care more about personal fuck ups, whether it's prostitutes, beating your kid, beating your wife? Like, what do we fucking care more about?
I think I care about how you
I think you
handle
just
it.
answered your own question. You kind of know it when you see it a little bit.
Yeah.
When something is so offensive and ridiculous in today's society is. Think about what you will about Adrian Peterson. You just shouldn't punish your kid like that. You know what I mean? So that's a different story compared to letting a little air out of football.
Right. And I mean, Peterson didn't lose $1 of his salary, right?
No, in fact,
And Brady's going to he's going to lose a quarter of his.
But-
how is that right?
Adrian Peterson's getting a little
that's
bit
the whole
more
question.
money this year.
That's true. You got to raise.
But that's the question. When do we dictate their lives outside their professional life, and when do we? And then how do you
When you
balance
consider
that?
yourselves role models.
How
When
do
you
you
set your
balance that
people
with-
up as role models.
Right.
Sorry, I'm
This
interrupting.
is really interesting because you've kind of had a different view sometimes in this.
Have I?
Yeah, you have.
Molly, let me ask you this.
What?
If, say, an accountant that you work with hits his kid compared to an accountant that, does something...
Cooks the books.
Cooks the books
books.
a little bit. What's your stance on that? I think it's pretty obvious. It's
Wait.
a football player.
Shit, how am I supposed to fucking answer
A
now?
football
Is
player is a profession just like anything else is a profession. They shouldn't be treated like royalty because they're human.
A little bit of a weird analogy, though, because the accountant could be affecting a lot of people by cooking those books, whereas Tom Brady doesn't affect anyone by taking a little air out of his football.
Maybe
It's the betters.
What if the accountant used a ballpoint pen?
The city of Indianapolis, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I hate nowadays. It's just this I don't want to keep pointing back to Ray Rice, but it kind of is, right? It's like it's all PR now, right? Brady's not going to admit that he did something wrong because then he loses face and he loses the brandability of his image, right? So he's going to fight it till the day he dies, to the point where they're going to bring it to federal court, which federal court has so many better things they could do than hearing whether or not Tom Brady destroyed a cell phone to deflate a ball a little bit before.
Yeah, how many cases are being postponed
You know what I mean?
or pushed back
what
to
a
that?
ridiculous use of
It does
people's
suck
time.
though that like the guys that he was like deflate my football and like they're fired.
Get rid of the little guy.
Salary,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're gone, and he's
Working at a Quiznos now.
Yeah, it's like he didn't. Like, well, Tom Brady.
Tom made me do it.
It's like
Old
Tom
Blue
Brady.
Eyes.
Yeah,
Tom better be
Yeah.
sending that guy a check,
Seriously?
by the way. He better be getting that check every month.
Here's my theory: Giselle was deflating the ball in more ways than one. Sorry, too much. All right, sorry.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Shit, we're out of breaks. But we really need one now.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry about that. It was a little below the belt, but I thought it was a good taste.
Literally.
Yeah. Ooh.
Here, I have one more point
good, I
that
like it.
might make this
It's not going to
a
do
good
anything.
point. I just think it's kind of sad and interesting that Ray Rice is kind of the number one name that comes to mind as far as suspension goes and what a professional athlete does to deserve a suspension. When if you look even further than that, like Ray Lewis probably murdered a person, O.J. Simpson murdered a person. Like these are professional athletes. Like this has been going.
Ray Lewis got obstruction of justice too, didn't he, or did he get off for that?
I don't recall.
I feel like he was. Maybe he was just charged. He
Man,
might not have.
Ray was just in the parking lot.
Yeah, he had nothing to actually
He
do with
didn't
it.
do anything.
But it's like it's kind of funny how quickly we forget and how quickly they become athletes and entertainment and not humans.
Well, you know what, though, especially the Ray Rice thing, the reason that we all have that name on the top of our heads always is because we saw what he did.
Yeah.
If you had video of Adrian Peterson, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That thing would be, we would still be watching it, and he would never be back in the league. He would
Is-
never be back in the
Is
league.
Ray a free agent now? Where's he?
I don't think anybody's picked him up.
No
Yeah,
one's picking him up.
Is he? Was his lifetime ban lifted?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
he's free to
Yeah,
sign.
he can play. Yeah.
That's why I picked him up in like week 9 last year. And everybody
Just in case.
hate. I'm like, I
No,
don't
you
know. If he
drafted
was
him.
pretty good.
You drafted him.
did draft him.
Okay, no, that actually touches on the
I
big
drafted him,
topic,
like,
though, actually, there.
really late in the round. Yeah,
If you're the NFL, we've talked about this on the show, but
it's not late.
if you're the NFL, you're asking these players to go out and be violent on a weekly basis and try to kill each other and they get injured, and there's a lot that goes into it. So you kind of need people that are going to be a little crazy to take the job in the first place, and they're the type of people who are going to do the things off the field that we are so disgusted by.
Yeah.
So, like I've mentioned to Molly, who's to blame? Like we demand this product. We love this blood sport. But yet, when they do something crazy off the field, we're like, "Oh, that's how could you do that? That's so crazy." But we want you to be killers.
The rates, though, of like violent acts within the league versus the general population aren't like
That's true.
Statistically, like significantly
They're
different.
equal or
Like,
lower.
Huge.
Yeah, they're like it's normal. It just gets blown up because we make these associations. They're in the public
Public
sphere.
figures,
They're
paying them a lot of money.
You know,
Exactly.
you know, yeah.
And the role model thing too. We do expect more out of them just because they're on TV and they're in a game, which is stupid of us.
And
Exactly.
I'm maybe this isn't true, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't see this shit with like other violent sports like hockey players. Like you know what I mean? Like hockey players are super fucking violent people that are encouraged to fight. And I can't remember the last time I saw. I mean, hockey's not a big sport either.
I think you're talking socioeconomic differences more than anything there.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Because
could
you
be
can't.
it.
There's not a lot of inner city poor kids playing.
No,
hockey.
there's
You
not.
just can't, and that's not a black or white thing. That's just inner city.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
And
true.
the thing too is, I mean, NHL maybe not have a domestic abuse policy or problem, but they have a huge probably painkiller problem. They have a huge. I mean, it's not like they're without their faults too. I mean, the junior setup and then the junior leagues in Canada too are rife with drug
there's
abuse as
a
well
lot
as
of
just a really
delinquent behavior.
It's true.
delinquent kids.
And we're
Like,
kind of
just
comparing.
shitheads.
We're comparing the NFL and the NHL, and just purely on number of people who give a shit.
Absolutely.
The meters, you know, it's not. They're not even close.
That's
So
true.
you're not going to analyze hockey players' lives off the ice like you do with every NFL player. I mean, we've made the NFL a 365-day-a-year sport. It's covered every day. NFL Live is on every single day. So you don't have that. I mean, NHL doesn't even have anything on ESPN. Think about
Right.
that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like what would happen if a state like Minnesota, which is really big into hockey, if one of our beloved players did something really fucking shitty, like how would we react? Like would we do the same?
When we
shit
found
where
out
we're like-
Bugard was doing
we're
drugs,
like,
and we reacted pretty.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
did
but
think that was
that's
weird.
That's a
Bugard
very
OD'd, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of a whole different, separate,
No,
very
it's a more sympathy thing
personal,
than mad thing, yeah.
I mean, addiction's kind of when you're a piece of shit that is beating up your wife or your son or your child, whatever. It turns into a different issue, and I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if we were kind of like, well, for a few weeks we're kind of pissed off, and then after he kind of, the court passes whatever, and he's like, oh, he's not going to serve any time. We're like, oh, okay. You know, like let's get over it like the rest of them.
I think we people here in this community hold us, the ones that come from here, to a higher standard.
Yeah.
If Zach Parise beat up his wife, he wouldn't be on the Wild.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, because this community would kick him off the team. I think that's just this community. Maybe that's naive for me to think.
But so hold on though, is
Zach Parise is a really good guy.
Was that an NHL versus NFL thing
not
too?
much.
Because we love the NFL and we love our Vikings so much more that we'll allow Adrian Peterson to do whatever he wants, but we'll take him back.
Adrian Peterson's not from here. I don't understand. I don't think of Adrian Peterson as a Minnesotan.
No.
But he still represents us in a way,
does.
right?
He does, and I think people got upset about it. And you can think what you will about.
Well, that's why he was on the bench for a year.
Right. I think. I mean, it's going to be interesting if he has a really successful year. Am I going to stand up and cheer? Probably. I'm a football
if
fan.
you don't, the other 99.9% of fans will.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's also, I mean, obviously not justifying anything that he did, right? But I think he picked the wrong year to do that or to get prosecuted for it, because he was lumped into the Ray Rice thing, right?
Yeah.
He got brought up into this kind of tidal wave that he had to go through, right? And I mean, regardless of whether or not, obviously, no one agrees with his actions, I think anyone could look at the process that he had to face afterwards as completely ridiculous. I mean, he was on this exempt list. Ray Rice, initially, like you said, got 2 games, and then the video came out. Oh, well, now you're banned for the year, right? And now, well, AP beat his son with a switch. I mean, obviously, he went out of bounds. I'm not by any means endorsing his actions, but at the same time, it's still him disciplining his son in his home opposed to beating his wife.
And what he did was much more accepted
Right.
in a certain culture in this country,
Exactly.
whether right or wrong even. That is very different. I mean, I think all parts of America are pretty much against beating your wife, to submission, literally knocking her out. I think we're all pretty much on board with that's not
exactly.
okay. But the kidding, I mean, I've heard people in the Twin Cities, and we're very north, and we're very, very northern minded in that kind of thing when it comes to like hitting kids. And I think that even up here, there were still people kind of going, "Well, no, it's his kid. Who are you to say?"
Right.
And to me, that's a little scary
it's
too.
discipline, not child
It's just
abuse
old
type
school.
of thing.
That's a
thinking,
difference,
right? It's ignorant. I mean, it is. It's an ignorant thought, right? That's just how people were disciplining their kids in the 50s,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's how I kind of
And
look
especially
at it. Or
in the
the
South.
South, right? Yeah, exactly.
But that's what another theme of the show, though, that we've kind of said is I think it's okay for us in the North when we're right on something like this to push our fucking values on them. Like, it's not okay to beat kids. I don't care how you were raised. Yeah. So it's I don't mind us being a little, holier than thou when it comes to that.
Yeah, we won the Civil War. Deal with it. You guys will abide, or
I dare you to say that down in the deep south.
Yeah,
get your ass kicked. But
take a couple Confederate flags out.
Again, though, for all things to get your ass kicked for, that wouldn't be one of the worst.
No.
So, okay, real quick question before we wrap it up. What is less important to your life? Cecil being killed or Tom Brady's cell phone? Which is less important? Because they're both like the top 2 things in the news cycle.
Tom Brady's cell phone.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
It is. It has
Tom didn't take a life of something. Except that.
Well, he hasn't been caught.
But how do you value the 2 employees that lost their job?
Salaries,
Salaries to
Benefits.
a lion that was going to die anyways.
The lion was pretty old.
Lion.
And again, how many lions do we need?
Seriously. All right. Well, it's been fun, guys. Let's throw out the details again one more time. Nurse Fest. What do they need to know?
Nursefest.com.
Saturday.
August 1st. 5 live band stations free.
Saturday.
Free is probably the most important.
Free.
August 1st.
And Saturday.
It's
this
got
Saturday.
beer. It's
12
got hot
to
chicks
close.
and hot dudes.
So many hot days.
3 for sure. 3 sunscreen.
All right. Harriet Brewing. See you guys there.